Today, we're out in Maryland on a sailing trip, and we are reviewing the 18-liter outdoor backpack from Peak Design, as well as the 4-liter outdoor sling. Now, they sent me these bags to review, and I've really been enjoying them. I didn't expect them to be much different from the 25-liter and 45-liter reviews that I will link to here, as well as down in the description. But this sleek little bag has actually been a really fun addition to our trip. Now, when you're on a sailboat, every ounce and every little bit of space counts, so having a minimal bag like this has been great for us. We've been shooting out of it, living out of it, traveling with it through the airport, all the way to Maryland, here on the boat in a tiny little cabin, and it's been great. It holds all the equipment we need, and it's got some great features that I want to talk about today. This video isn't just about specs and this particular bag, it's about how this bag fits into our life of juggling, creating while on the go, while traveling and being in a confined space. Not to mention the real life challenges of doing all that with 2 kids. Welcome to the Burgerines. I'm Mark Burgerine. On this channel, we do practical gear reviews and tips for photographers. If you haven't already, hit subscribe and you'll view our weekly videos. All right, so this 18-liter backpack is similar to the 25-liter and 45-liter versions that I've looked at previously, but it's a little bit slimmed down. It's a little bit sleeker. It doesn't have quite the same features, and it's actually perfect because it fits as a personal item on most US flights. Now, the limits on those are quite stringent, and depending on what airline, they may hassle you, but I did a little bit of research, and it looks like this thing is actually within some of the guidelines and just outside of the guidelines for some airlines. So I think they're gonna let you slide in most cases, but if you're headed to Europe, it's gonna be a stretch. Some of those airlines a little bit stricter and will actually measure your bag and weigh your bag, and you might have more trouble there. But within the US, good to go as a personal item, which frees you up to carry a larger bag, say the Peak Design roller bag, or a larger suitcase as your carry-on item, and slide this under the seat in front of you. All right, so let's dive into some of the design features. Now, the first thing I like about this bag is the suspension. This suspension is actually quite comfortable. It's got these padded shoulder straps, and then it's got these stretchy pockets here, which is great when you're going through the airport and you want to just slide your personal items into the shoulder straps without having to take off your bag. You can empty your pockets to go through the TSA security. It also has this capture clip mount, which is great if you want to clip your camera on here, and you're good to go as far as having that mounted on the strap. And because of the way Peak Design has upgraded their shoulder straps from previous bags, they no longer bite into your shoulder by having this metal piece around the entire strap. It has its own mounting point, which is becoming a new trend on several of the backpacks, similar to the Shimoda that I reviewed last week. You can check out that review here if you're interested. So, turning the bag around, it's got 2 nice, sleek zipper pockets here on the back. These are essentially overlapping each other, so they're not the same pocket, but they do share essentially the same volume of space in the bag. So you can't jam those full of stuff. There's not a ton of space, but you can get a decent amount of gear in there. It does have some flex, and as long as you're not trying to overstuff it, it's still going to remain within that carry-on personal item size. On the sides of the bag, you'll see these kind of stretchy elastic pockets here, and on top of those, you've got this solid cord design, so you can really cinch it down. So you've got stretchy on top of a firmer cord. So in addition, up here on the top, you've got these stretchy cords, which I find is great. You can slide, a full-size 1-liter water bottle in there, or I stick my travel tripod in there. And then these are great to really cinch it down and give it that extra snug feel, especially when you're running through an airport and it's not going to be bouncing around, feeling like things are going to come out of the bag. The exterior of the bag is quite nice. On the bottom here, you have like a waterproof feeling fabric. So when you set the bag down on the boat or somewhere that might be wet, you don't have to worry about it getting wet on the bottom there. And this exterior fabric feels quite weatherproof as well. Not quite as rugged as the bottom here, but definitely water resistant. It's taken some splashes, it's gotten a little bit wet, and I didn't have to worry about what's inside there. So speaking of keeping things inside of the bag, let's take a look at this clamshell opening, which is one of the key features of the outdoor line bag. So you've got this big exterior zipper, and then it fully opens here. And first thing you'll notice on the back here is this laptop pocket, which is stretchy and big enough. Some people, if you're not using it for camera gear, you can use it for a hydration bladder or whatever you want, but it does fit a decent sized laptop. I'm not sure if it'll fit the new 16-inch MacBook Pro, but it definitely fits our current 13-inch. Underneath that clamshell design is just a big open area of the bag. So right now I've got some camera gear, and on top here I've got the 4-liter outdoor sling, which we will talk about in a moment. Inside is the medium. Yes, you heard that right. It's not small, it's not medium. This is the medium camera cube, which is the largest camera cube from Peak Design that will fit inside of this bag. And it holds quite a bit of stuff. Right now I've got some filters. This is where my main camera goes. And I had an accessory here, and I've got a 70-200 as well as some memory cards, a bunch of batteries, my audio DJI mics here, and some ND filters up here. So it holds quite a bit of camera gear, especially if your main camera ends up on that front camera clip. So if you don't want to take camera gear with you and you just want to use this bag for other things, you can take this camera cube, zip up the top, and it's got these clips here on the side that you can take off 4 clips, 2 on each side, and that's what mounts this cube to the interior of the bag. So once you remove that cube and take it off of those internal lash points, you will have just a nice wide open 18-liter backpack to do whatever you want with, whether that's taking on an adventure, if you need less camera gear and more storage for other items. It gives you a lot of flexibility when you're traveling, which is important when you're on a place like a sailboat. Things need to be multi-purpose. It can't just be a dedicated camera bag and then a dedicated bag for other things. It helps to be flexible and customizable in that respect. But even with the medium cube in here and all this camera gear, there's still room up top for either the 4-liter outdoor sling, which tucks nicely right in the top there, or maybe even a small drone, whether that's the DJI Mini 4 Pro or a GoPro setup. You've still got, you know, about roughly 4 liters of space above the camera cube. If you did want to have a smaller camera cube, Peak Design also sells smaller versions of this cube that give you less capacity and more for other types of gear. But I really like the medium cube because it holds enough gear for what I need, and it also gives the bag some shape. So when you take the camera cube out and don't have it clipped to the sides here, you'll notice that when you unzip the bag, it just kind of folds flat and it doesn't have a lot of shape to it. So I like that the camera cube gives it a little bit of structure, a little bit of organization and storage capacity so that you don't just have one big compartment. All right, so let's take a look at the outdoor sling, which I think pairs really well with this bag, being that it fits nicely in that top compartment, and I will show you how it mounts on the front in a little bit. But the 4-liter outdoor sling from Peak Design is an awesome version of, we've looked at a couple of their slings. I really like this size in particular. So they offer a 2-liter size, and I think it's a 7-liter size. And those are both great. The 2-liter has just less capacity, and the 7-liter felt kind of bulky, but I think this is a nice midpoint in terms of capacity. It has 2 pockets. So on the outside here, a key holder and you know, decent sized capacity, whether it's a pair of sunglasses or some smaller items. And then inside the main compartment here, it has a good amount of capacity as well as some organization. So it's got a zipper pocket inside here, which I put our passports in. And then it has some stretchy pockets, which are great for storing little items like batteries or headphones, that type of thing. In here, I have my power block and just a few little accessories like my headphones and things that I want to have accessible while traveling. This is a great option. And then in addition, when your phone is not in your shoulder pocket here, there's a nice little phone pocket that allows you quick access to your phone and a little magnetic closure here in this region of the bag right on the back. So that's handy if you want quick access and don't want to mess with zippers, but you want your phone somewhat contained inside of that. So the sling bag works great. It has an over the shoulder, have all your accessories right up front. That's awesome. You can lengthen it, extend it, have it be carried on the back or just wherever you want it. But let's talk about how it mounts on the front of the Peak Design bag. So the first thing you have to do is pop off the shoulder strap here, which comes off on these little clips and then pulls right off. And then you take these stretchy clips from the outsides of the side pockets here, and these just are looped through, so you can pop those off. So once you've got it mounted, you girth hitch these to the little daisy chain here, and you've got a stretchy option to mount this bag right at the front. Gives you access to all your stuff while you're traveling. So this is a great option. It keeps things right in front of you and allows you to safely hold that stuff and not have it be tucked away. Quick access, I really like it. So what I really liked about this combination of bags is that the suspension is really comfortable to carry, and it has a really nice capacity. So these shoulder straps are very comfortable, breathable, and they work well, and it just has a nice capacity. So it takes just enough camera gear to be effective in this environment, and it's really easy to carry around, grab, and work out of. Normally, I opt for larger camera bags because I like to have more equipment with me. This thing is a much nicer option when you're in a confined space like this, because it gives you just enough storage and protection for your limited camera gear that you have with you, and when you're not going to be bringing a large 45-liter bag. But it's also really in a compact, sleek shape so that it fits nicely whether you're throwing it down below. It's not going to get snagged on things because it doesn't have a bunch of extras, and it doesn't have tons of capacity, so it limits you in only allowing you to bring what you need and not a ton of extra gear. It also has the ability to add a waist belt right under here. There's some clip-in points that's sold separately, but I didn't find the need for it. I think at 18 liters, these nice vest style shoulder straps are going to give you plenty of carrying ability without the need for a waist belt. But if you do really like that, it's available as a separate option. And as I already mentioned, I still really love the mount for the camera clip here. Just having that right on the outside of your bag while not protruding into your shoulder. Now, one thing you get with Peak Design is peace of mind. This thing took a splash or two on the boat, but I didn't worry about it because I knew it was gonna be solid. It was gonna be weather resistant on the exterior and really stand up to the elements. With Peak Design's guarantee, you might pay a little bit more up front, but you're getting a lifetime guarantee on the bag, whether it's the zippers that go bad or the fabric starts to fall apart, delaminate, whatever it is, you know that they're gonna stand behind it. So when I was younger, I bought a lot of cheap camera gear, but now that I'm getting a little bit older, I appreciate the value that you get from something quality. You can either buy twice or you can buy nice. So as I have a little bit more disposable income, I opt for buying nice because it's often a better value and you don't have to buy 2-3 camera bags. Instead, you can buy one camera bag that's gonna last you a long time. And if you just choose to get this size bag, you still have versatility when it comes to the packing cubes. So you can get a couple different sizes depending on how much camera gear you wanna bring with you. And those camera cubes are also transferable to their other larger bags. So let's say you get the medium bag or medium cube, but you later decide you want the 45-liter bag, well, you can take that cube and put it in the other backpack. So that's really nice that they give you that versatility of the protection that your camera is inside to transfer to the other bags. All right, so closing thoughts. Let's talk about who this bag is for. I think this bag is perfect for any traveling creators who need to move quick, light, and nimble and just take a bare minimum of gear. It's also awesome for the minimalist who wants a really sleek and dialed bag to hold their equipment. I think it's also great for parents who double as photographers. You know who you are. And lastly, I think it's great for anyone who is traveling with confined and limited amounts of equipment. So whether it's on a sailboat in a confined space, or you're traveling across the world and you need just a small personal item that's gonna go with you all the time, this is a great option. In terms of price versus value, this bag is going for 180 bucks, which I think is a little bit on the high side, but you're also getting a ton of value. So you get that lifetime warranty, you get all the durable, high quality materials that you know are gonna last. So make the investment up front and it's gonna last you for a long time. If you want features of the 45 liter or 25 liter bag, but those are just a little bit too large for you, this 18 liter version is gonna be just the bag for you. So let me know in the comments if you have any questions about this bag in particular, or about the 4 liter sling that I talked briefly about in this video. I'd love to help you find the right bag for you. So if you have a particular set of camera gear that you're trying to store, or a particular type of trip you're gonna take and you're not sure quite what bag to get, leave a comment or question down below. I'll be sure to get back to you. In addition, all the gear that I mentioned today will be linked down there. So if you're gonna go shopping for a bag, really appreciate if you use those links and help support the channel. Additionally, you'll find our travel photography guide down there in our shop. So be sure and go check that out. It's an awesome guide that gives you a lot of our really thoughtful tips that we've developed over the last decade plus as professional photographers. If you haven't already, be sure to hit the subscribe button. It really helps out the channel, and then you'll get notified when we post our weekly videos. Next up, go check out this video on the review of the 25 liter outdoor sling, and you can get a view of a slightly larger version of this backpack. I will see you over there.